Okay, so I want to put you on a little secret here. All right. My wife is putting the boys to bed. Okay, but technology's not my friend right now. I've been trying to tell this 15 seed story for the last 3 days and put it out there. All right, but my boy has too good of a camera and the files have been too big. But I finally figured out how to do it. So without further ado, this is the number 15 seed. Bald Guy of the Year. Booyah. All right, so today's the day. The number 2 seed, my 2-touchdown game, has defeated Bald Guy of the Year. And one thing that you're going to learn about me is that I care about my players a ton. I love my former players and former kids that I taught. And when they're trying to do something big, I love seeing them be successful. And one thing that I have an opportunity with this Bald Guy of the Year is to talk about my guy, Quentin Michaels. I remember back in the day, he made a little rap video for one of my English projects. We called him the Rappin' Rhinoceros. Okay, great guy. That was freshman year. It was a long time ago. But great guy, is doing some awesome things with the Section 312 Chicago Sports Podcast, and I'm really proud of him. He's doing some good things. So this year, I was voted the Bald Guy of the Year by Section 312. Make sure you follow them on Twitter at Section 312 Show. And I'm going to let Quentin tell you a little bit about the way things came to be and how they got started with this idea of Bald Guy of the Year.
So the Bald Guy of the Year. Bald Guy of the Year is a tournament that we started last year, and we are going to keep it going as long as the show is alive, which I plan it will be. That we have a segment on our show called the Bald Guy of the Week. And during the Bald Guy of the Week, we nominate a Bald Guy of the Week that did something extraordinary or stood out or caught the attention of people for that week. Now, when you get nominated for Bald Guy of the Week, you get put into the Bald Guy of the Year tournament. The Bald Guy of the Year tournament is a seeded bracket tournament that we post on social media, and we let our listeners and our followers vote. We have no say in who makes it to the finals, who advances. We have no say. It's all voted on by you guys, by the listeners, by the viewers. We post it in bracket form on Twitter. We post links to it on Facebook, at all of our social media handles, like I said, Section 312 Show. And you vote to see every week if your ball guy makes it to the next round. Now there's some, limitations on, is he bald, is he not? If we can see at least 28% of the top of your head, I consider that bald. Homer Simpson with the little bit, or just the hair that goes around the sides, but you got the bald top. That's a Bald Guy of the Week. Okay, you could be nominated for Bald Guy of the Week. So, the Bald Guy of the Week segment was created by a former co-host of mine, Andrew Miller, who, let's just say, the hair side hasn't been the best to him. He's 23 years old, and he didn't get the good genetics from his family side. Started going bald when he was like 20, and it just didn't grow in right. So he just shaved it, It's a choice. So some people got to rock it, We talked to Jesse Rogers about it when he was on the show. He was a little upset he didn't win Ball Guy of the Year. He kind of threw some shots at our reigning champ, Brad Coons. If you wanted to address Jesse Rogers and an ultimate bald off, I don't know how we could set something up, but he was a little heated that he didn't win. When we mentioned that Coach Coons had won the Ball Guy of the Year tournament, he said, Brad Coons, he's like, that guy's washed up, when we told him why he won it, So a little bit of a beef between Jesse Rogers and Brad Coons. It's all fun and games, though. Ball Guy of the Year. So the Ball Guy of the Week we do every week on our show, and if you make it to the Ball Guy of the Week, then you get put into the tournament of Ball Guy of the Year and voted on by the fans. Now, Coach Coons, like I said, is the reigning champ right now, the Ball Guy of the Year, and we were in the process of getting the championship t-shirt made, which we still need for you to tell us a size and an address to send you the t-shirts once we get out of quarantine and things get back to normal, so we can go out and have these shirts made. The way I designed it, it's going to be like a silhouette of a ball guy on the front of the shirt with a crown, and then on the back of it is going to have the bracket, the tournament, with our Section 312 logo at the top of the shirt, almost where a tag would be on the outside. And then on the front, it would just say like hashtag BGOTW or BGOTY for Ball Guy of the Year. But that's really how the Ball Guy of the Year started. It was created by Andrew Miller, a former co-host who was bald, and he wanted a segment of his own. So he's like, hey, why don't I do a Ball Guy of the Week? So we rolled with it, and then when he decided to take a different route and I had to address filling a new co-host, we kind of just kept the Ball Guy of the Week. I thought it was a good segment. I thought it was very original, creative. So that's the story of the origins of the Ball Guy.
Okay, so obviously I'm bald, and I hang on to a little bit of my hair so I look good whenever I have a hat on, I think, And I got the little quarantine beard going where, I can't get to my barber right now. I'm not feeling very exclusive. So I asked him to go through, who all got nominated, who won Bald Guy of the Week so that they could be part of Bald Guy of the Year. And, man, I don't know how I won this, but, let's hear about it. Let's hear about it.
So yeah, Brad Coons, Coach Coons, is the reigning champ of the Ball Guy of the Year tournament. Like I said, the Ball Guy of the Week, you get nominated to the Ball Guy of the Year tournament. Now, I'm not going to break down all the matches, but I will list everybody basically who Coach Coons beat to win the Ball Guy of the Year tournament. Like I said, voted on by the fans. We had nothing to do with it. We didn't choose our favorite or anything like that for people that think it might have been rigged or anything. It was all voted on by you guys. But Brad Coons, he secured the championship. He rocked the Ball Guy of the Year tournament pretty well to his nature, to the best of his ability, and he pulled it out. He had a hefty amount of followers that supported him and voted for him. I think every week his bracket had the most votes. So some of the people he beat out, Andrew Miller, the creator of the Ball Guy of the Week tournament, he was the number one seed. The number one seed didn't even, I don't think, make it to the finals. So Brad Coons, he beat out Andrew Miller. He beat out Booger McFarland, Joey Chestnut, Sebastian Janikowski, Tiger Woods, PJ Fleck, Robbie Gould, Mike Tyson, Lovie Smith, Charles Barkley, Michael Jordan, Shaquille O'Neal, Magic Johnson, LeBron James, and David Ross. Those were our nominations last year for the Ball Guy of the Weeks, throughout the weeks, and that's how they got nominated into the Ball Guy of the Year tournament.
As I've mentioned before, I enjoy Ed Reed's 8720 Cigar Lounge Instagram live feed, and that's what I'm doing right now. But I appreciate you, Quentin. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that 312 podcast? My man.
So yeah, just getting back to my podcast, my show side of things, I went to college for many reasons. I wanted to get away from home. I was following an ex-girlfriend at the time, current girlfriend at the time, ex-girlfriend now, which you should never do. I learned that the very hard way. But I went to college and I didn't know what I wanted to study. I went to NIU for a year, transferred down to SIU, changed my major too many times, and I finally decided that I wanted to be in radio. So I got a degree in radio broadcasting with a minor in communication studies. And while I was down at school, I met a guy named Patrick Hodo who kind of opened a couple doors for me. He allowed me and able to do play-by-play for the SIU football games up in the big booth with all the fancy people and, the well-respected people like the Mike Reeses and the Connor Onions that are down there. I did play-by-play for a couple basketball games, some baseball games. So I got, some really needed experience down there. And every week, Patrick Kodo would have a radio show on the student radio channel down there called Kodo's Mojo. And he always used to do it by himself. And, I'm very thankful he allowed me to get my foot in the door and had me basically be a co-host on his show and, boost the ratings and, be able to politic back and forth about debatable topics. And after doing that for a while, I just thought to myself, I'm like, why don't I just start my own? I don't want to just come and invade somebody else's show and make it my own, because that would just be, I'd look like an asshole. I really would. And I don't like to look like that. So I went out and started my own podcast. People ask me, well, you don't have a problem standing in front of people or public speaking or talking to people. They're like, why are you in radio, and not trying to go into TV or anything, And I tell them, I don't have the face for TV. That's why you listen to me on the radio, is because I'm not pretty enough for TV. Nor will I ever be. Not enough makeup in the world could make me pretty enough for TV. So that's why I'm on radio and podcast platforms. So I started the podcast not knowing how I was going to have anything set up, how to do it. Me as a person, I have never been very technological, savvy, and I'm not the best when it comes to patience with technology. So I had to get an IT guy to do all the computer tech stuff, building the website, putting out the images and the media and the links and posting the episodes. So I got my buddy who I met at school, Matt Gross, who went to school for IT stuff and, designs websites and things like that. The only downfall was I was trying to start a Chicago sports podcast and he was a St. Louis fan, But we had one mutual thing in common, and that was the rivalry a little bit, So I learned up to this point, along the way, it's good to have the opposition on your side, because it just makes for more fun topical debates that get thrown and presented in front of you. So I started this podcast, and, finding guests was a hard part. And it still is, but it's a lot easier now than it ever has been, I feel. I didn't know how to get these people onto my show. I didn't know how to record. I didn't know what platforms people were using. This is all stuff I just had to learn on my own and figure it out. So I'd message people. I remember, here's another story for you guys about the Section 312 podcast. You heard about Zeke. So here's another one. Akeem Hicks, the Chicago Bears, right? The Dream. Does an Instagram live video, right? I'm like, oh, sweet. Akeem, I'm going to hop on this Instagram live on the Section 312 page, and we're going to try and get him to, schedule something for the show. That's how we do it. We DM, we message, we email, we contact people, be like, hey, we'd love to have you on, 10 minutes of your time. We can schedule something. You just call in, yada, yada, yada. This is before we had set up, an outside line that's strictly for the show. And we went on to his Instagram live feed, and I was like, hey, Akeem, would love to have you on the show sometime. 10 minutes of your time is all we need. It's not a interrogation. It's a conversation. Come on, have a good time. We could Skype, and we record over Skype. And like everybody who's seen the video of Soulja Boy when he's in the Breakfast Club meeting, and, they say Drake, and he's like, Drake! Akeem Hicks, I said Skype, and he just stopped dead of what he was talking about when he read my comment mid, sentence. And he was like, Skype? He's like, who? He's like, who the heck uses Skype anymore? And then I see everybody. I see probably a couple hundred people just in a row posting like crying, laughing face emojis and LOL and hashtag roasted and lame and just all the haters coming out, right? So I learned right then and there, I was like, okay, we got to get away from this Skype thing, because this is just becoming a hassle, you know? And pretty much after that, you know, people were just having doubts about coming down to the show because they're like, oh yeah, well, I don't want to Skype, it's hard to set up, yeah, I don't want to do that. So we came up with a better method of the phone number, and we have people call in just through the phone, and they call in through the phone, we record it, it's awesome, the quality's better, but we've gotten a lot of great guests just because we had an additional outside line for the show that makes it easier on our guests. It makes them willing and able to just call into the show for 10 minutes. We've had people like Nick Turturro. For people who don't know who that is, that if you've seen The Longest Yard with Adam Sandler, Brucey, that's Nick Turturro. We've had Don Wachter, the Bear Man, Ford Hall of Fans inductee. We've had Doug Plank, Fergie Jenkins. We've had a lot of great guests and people lined up along the way. You know, I mentioned Jesse Rogers and some Cubs and stuff like that. So that's pretty much it. You know, we have weekly segments. We do a show every Thursday. We record it Tuesday, edit it Wednesday, put it out Thursday. And by doing that, we kind of get most of the stories that we can get through the weekend and Monday, because there's a lot of, you know, breaking news here and there. It's very rare that we post it on a Thursday and then something major will happen on the Thursday that we didn't get to talk about. So that's how the Section 312 show basically got its foundation, and how we keep striving to get better. And, you know, we're learning along the way, and the best way to succeed is to fail. So when I failed with Akeem Hicks and the Skype thing, I succeeded because we found another method and we put that into action, and things like that have been working. Now the show is at a point right now where it's working, but it's not where I want it to be. You know, there's always room for improvement. You know, I'm in my Section 312 studio right now, how I record my show, but I want to get a bigger space for a bigger studio with nothing but my Section 312 stuff. You know, that's the goal. So where I can have, if we ever get outside this quarantine, where I can have the guests come to the studio and we record a live show in the studio with them, and either put it out on our website, section312.com, where you can find all of our episodes and our merchandise, like this fire hoodie, multiple colors, things like that. Limited right now because we're going to have more designs and stuff coming out, but that we have goals like that down the way. We have other potential sponsorships that we're in talks working with, lined up down the way. And another goal I would love to do is I would love for Section 312 to host meet and greet and signing events. You know, get people, like if Joseph Jones was in town, you know, for couple days or something, we set something up for a meet and greet signing event. You know, Denver Broncos, Joseph Jones, I'm just using an example, you know, and you know, we just host the signing event. You know, they make the money, we make a little bit, tickets, you know, but that's not what it's about. You know, it's about just getting our name associated with things like that. And I think it would be really cool to host like a meet and greet signing event. But we have some great content coming up. We got interviews with Brett Johnson, who worked with Derek Jeter in the Miami Marlins. We got my buddy AG Austin Gumber. He is in talks with basically Nike and LeBron's people, and I'm pretty sure he's about to have an article about him put out by Hypebeast. He creates clothing. And here, I'll just show you guys. Look at this. Super fire hoodie. multiple colors. He's got, a Ken Griffey Jr. one with the baseball bat swinging, things like that. So, we don't just have athletes and actors and famous. We have people, that are innovative and still trying to make it. I mentioned finding what you're good at. He just recently found what he was good at, and now he's getting recognized by LeBron's people, hype beast. The Michigan State basketball team all had his stuff. So we got interviews with that. Brad Coons will be coming on the show. We might do a twofer with Brad Coons and Austin AG for next week's episode. Give a twofer for the people. We got Jim Annixter, the pink hat guy. I got him on speed dial. We're going to line up. Give Taylor Davis another call since he's out in Baltimore now instead of with the Cubs. See what he's up to. Get his thoughts on playing an MLB season but not a minor league season, what that could mean for minor league players. And then talking, when Brad comes onto the show, Coach Coons, about his defending, how he's going to defend the Ball Guy of the Year championship. We're not going to give it away too much right now, Coach Coons, because we got to make your listeners go and subscribe and listen to Section 312. But we'll talk about that a little bit, talk more about the aspect of how your wife puts the boys to bed, why she puts the boys to bed besides them wanting to go to sleep, the whole premises of how the name for your show got created and what your goals are, how you're going to plan on taking this show and continuing to push forward with it. What happens when we get out of quarantine, life gets back to normal, you're busy 24/7, with the football team, school, your children, your wife. Is there even going to be still time for my wife puts the boys to bed? I hope it will be, because I enjoy, like many of your listeners do, watching the show and keeping up with it. But that's about the goals that I have right now. They're small goals. They're not super big, outreachable goals, but it's always good to have some type of foundation to keep your mind at ease.
All right, my man. I appreciate you coming on and helping me tell this story so people can get an understanding of what's going on. I look forward to being on your show. And again, just thanks for being you. Thanks for doing great things. And, we wish you the best of luck with your show and getting things continue to roll. You guys are 57 episodes deep, and you got some great quality on there. So keep up the good work, my man.
Yeah, not a problem. Thanks for having me on the show. It was fun. Can't wait to have you on the podcast, catch up. We got to get another University of Miami story because we last time we had you on the show, we asked you about the 7th Floor Crew, and we got a pretty funny little story, side bonus from your times at the U. So we're looking to another fun little story that you got for us from the U. And yeah, so I love the show. Keep doing what you're doing. I think it's awesome. And just keep striving to be great because you're good at this show. So it's just another one of the many things that you found that you're incredibly gifted at. So just keep it up, and we'll talk to you on Section 312. Everybody go follow Section 312 show at all social medias, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Be sure to look out for the episode next week with Austin Gumber, AG Money, and Brad Coons, Coach Coons, sitting in Section 312.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for making it through with me on this. I know that story was a 15 seed, but I'm going to tell you something. Quentin is going to get really good at this, and he is going to blow up. And he's going to be one of these guys you hear on Fox Radio or something like that. One of these days, I'm just going to be in the car, and he's going to be on there. And I know it because he just has that drive, and he wants to be successful. And I mean, he's a Saluki. You can't. I mean, Salukis are freaking awesome. So, so what I want you to do, all right, you're gonna go to the Twitter, okay? And I realize, I guess this is backwards. I guess I need to tap it here. Okay. Ooh, look at that. So it's clear. So go to the section 312 show. Okay. You can do it on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. And then, boom. Look at that. All right. I look forward to talking to you guys again soon. It's probably Testimony Tuesday. Matters if we have technical difficulties. Either way, love you guys. Enjoy your week. Stay safe. Be good.